Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChari here once again with another awesome episode of how you can win at business. Not only win at business, but win big. And happy, what is tonight? Wednesday? Yes. Happy Wednesday evening, everyone. I lose track of the days, obviously. But tonight, I'm sticking with my basic accounting, bookkeeping lessons because I feel comfortable with it. I think I pretty much know the topic. If you don't know me, I am a CPA. I'm based in Flushing, New York right now, the eye of the storm. I don't know if we're the eye of the storm anymore. Actually, New York State has been going down and down and down. So I know how to read graphs and charts and stuff. But the problem is, in some places, the charts are going up and up. So I don't know if I should come or go, if I'm allowed to go out. Well, they say if you go out, you're better off being outside, which makes sense because if you're inside and you go outside, I mean, you're outside then, right? But the experts are saying that you're less likely to get sick if you're outside. But my question is, if that was the case, I actually forgot to put these on. But if that was the case, that it was safer, it's actually safer to go outside. Why the hell have I been cooped up in my apartment for 3 months? I don't get it. So I don't know if I'm allowed to go out. Restaurants are opening. I don't know if I should go eat. I'm very confused, obviously. But what I'm not confused about is business and accounting. and it's a good thing because that's what I'm talking about tonight. Uh, Obviously I can get off track, but tonight I actually have something that I consider really the backbone of a business's accounting system. And that's what I want to stress is that you need an accounting system. Now, we all have a system, even if you never created your own system, where you might have the garbage bag system. I have a PowerPoint where I actually have some really cool graphics where, and I show everybody in graphical terms, in other words, a picture, the garbage bag system or the shoebox system. That's a good, people just save all of their receipts. There's the pencil and paper at the end of the year system, the spreadsheet system, which is pretty popular. And the spreadsheet system, I've even taught this. If you purchase my best-selling book on Amazon, the amazing itty bitty book on bookkeeping. I keep meaning to bring it up here, and I also have the amazing itty bitty book on s-corps coming out soon. I'm just waiting for my good friend publisher Susie Pruden to you know, do what she has to do. But the backbone of an accounting system, which everyone needs, is what I'm going to show you tonight. And if you've done bookkeeping or accounting, you probably know what I'm going to show you. So I want to keep it a secret for now. My friend John Limbacher calls this an open loop, because when if I have an open loop, you'll stay till the end. So I did learn something hanging around with marketing people for a long time. And if you hang out with me, if you follow me, maybe you learn something about bookkeeping and accounting, because I have this stuff down. And I've been doing it for 35 years. I've set up probably thousands of QuickBooks files. I fixed them. I created them. I never destroyed a QuickBooks file, not that I can remember, and not intentionally. People have tried to destroy them on me, literally, rogue bookkeepers, people that didn't realize that I had continuous backups, and they would try to, corrupt the files. It's hard to pull something over on me when it comes to bookkeeping and accounting. That's just the way it is. So if somebody gives me their bookkeeping, if they're smart enough to trust me with their bookkeeping, I could tell them a lot about their business, a lot. And as long as it's organized properly, because and most of them aren't. So most of the time when I go into a prospective client's books, it's rare, unless they've had a bookkeeper or an accountant for a while. It's rare that the if they have an electronic bookkeeping system like QuickBooks or Wave apps, it's rare that it's really in good order and can produce reliable financial reports. And some people might, and it is true, you need to have accounting to do your taxes. And that's unavoidable, folks. There's some things in this world, in this life, that you just have to accept, like gravity. I'm on the 5th floor here, and I know if I have a terrace, and there's a reason why there's a thing over there to stop me from falling off it, because gravity is going to pull me down. I've accepted that. So the minute you could accept the fact that filing tax returns is unavoidable, and that in order to file your tax returns, you need to have books and records, as soon as you could accept that fact, you could live a happy, healthy life. And that's my story, folks. And I'm sticking with that. And that is actually part of, I think it's from the first paragraph of a book that I read called The Road Less Traveled or something, by Dr. M. Peck, or I'm butchering this. But it's an amazing book. They actually thought it was written for alcoholics, because you'd have to, but all you got to do is read that first paragraph. And what he says basically is life is tough. As soon as you could accept that fact, you could start enjoying life. And that's how I look at business. People get into business with the wrong expectations, thinking that it's going to be easy. I was one of them, thinking that, all I have to do is get something, I'll sell it, people will buy it, I'll make money. Who's thinking about doing tax returns and bookkeeping? Not many people. But the fact that it has to be done, and that we procrastinate or we put it off, it's a fact. It's a fact. The proof is in the pudding, because most businesses are still sole proprietors, and most sole proprietors do not take the step of creating a good bookkeeping system. And that is why they stay as sole proprietors. And that is a fact. And all you have to do is trace it backwards. Where are you now, and how did you get there? Because that's what I had to do, folks. It wasn't always simple for me. It's simple now. It took decades and thousands. What did I read? You're an expert if you spend 10,000 hours doing something. Well, I think I spent 50,000 hours doing this. And when I say this, I mean business. So, if you know me, if you know my ice cream truck story, there is a sequence of events that bring us to wherever we are. And that's life. And, I believe in a strange way that accounting and bookkeeping can be equated to, it's almost like a reflection on how you run your life. So I know some extremely, extremely successful people, and not only in business, but their lives. And they just, by coincidence, happen to have good accounting systems. So I believe, and this might seem like outrageous or, off the wall, but in order to be happy in life, I believe that you need a good bookkeeping system. And I'm gonna, start talking about this a lot. I really think that the secret of life is based on having a good bookkeeping system. And that's what I'm going with, folks. So I also want to mention, you can go to this site, How You Can Win at Business, and you could register for my free webinar. I don't know when I'm doing it again, probably sometime in August. But I'm going to explain everything about how you can win a business seriously. If you want to chat with me about your business, it's not for networking. People have tried that. But if you want to chat with me about your business, about how you could be happy by creating a good bookkeeping system, I'll chat with you. If you want information about joining my mastermind, look at all these things that I'm getting good at this. And, I'm just getting started, folks. I'm talking about these technology things. So let me get that out. And Mastermind with Joe DiChiara, and you can find out all about that. But let's get back to tonight's topic, which is how. And I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but I am going to show you how to relieve all the pain, suffering, and anxiety that you may be suffering right now, because July 15th is the tax deadline. And I know that there's a lot of people, there's millions of people out there that are losing sleep tonight because they have to get the numbers to their accountant. And it's, July 15th, it's going to be, I hear them shooting off fireworks already. That means it's going to be 4th of July soon. So, there are millions and millions of people that might be going through a lot of pain and anxiety right now, just because they don't know how to get their books ready for their accountant. So tonight, I'm going to help you hopefully get some sleep, because I'm going to show you the secrets on how to get your books together. And if you're watching this live, if you could give me a hashtag live, I'm getting better at this, but one thing I haven't been able to do, and I'm not going to try it tonight, is actually go live on Facebook. I've been successful a couple of times, and it's one of my goals. I'm working with a coach. So it's one of my goals by the end of July to be able to consistently interact with people that are actually watching me live. And I don't know why I want to, that I have to do that, but I think it's a good idea because I see other people doing it. So, and I just want to mention, I saw my friend Craig Duswalt did this master class today on affiliates, on how to make money as an affiliate, and but either by selling other people's products or by having people sell your products. I mean, it's a great way to create new revenue streams. But he's done hundreds of these, thousands. I mean, I don't know how many times he's been on stage and doing videos. And lo and behold, he's doing, and this was a 2-hour training, and stuff wasn't working. He couldn't get into his accounts. It was, now for a normal person, this would have been embarrassing, and they would have flubbed it like I've done in the past plenty of times. But it's almost like every time Craig goes on stage or online, something goes wrong. So I don't know if he's staging it and it's just like, oh no, this is going wrong. But he pivots and he just goes with it, and he's an expert at it. So tonight, the reason why I'm telling the story is tonight, I usually have my cityscape background. I love that. I'm in New York. I want everybody to know. And sometimes it's not even New York. Sometimes I use other cities, but it's a city. And I have to take this off so you can see this. I enter the broadcast booth, which is what I have now. I have a broadcast booth. And I get ready. I did all the makeup stuff and the lighting, and I got ready for my show. And I put on the background, and this shirt, it looked spooky. It was like you could see right through me, like I was a ghost. And I thank God that I had people like Craig teach me. And I just said, you know what, this ain't gonna work. I pulled the green screen away, and so now the background. This isn't this is actually my office. I write this part of my apartment off. And this is my documentation. So this is one of the ways, if I ever got audited, I would show them this video to prove that I do business in this room. And I've actually done that. I've used pictures of my clients working in audit. So anyway, there's a lot of ways to keep books and records. This would not be a very efficient way to do it, but if all else fails. So how do you avoid this unnecessary pain and suffering of getting all your tax records to your accountant? Or even if you're stupid enough to be doing your return on your own, putting the numbers together to properly do your tax return. Now, I'm talking about people pretty much that are in business. Because if you have a job, if you're just a regular 1040, they pretty much screwed you. They pretty much said, you're not getting any more deductions. Forget about keeping track of all this stuff. So it is what it is. Whatever you made, that's what you're paying taxes on, pretty much. If you have a business, you want to take advantage of every single tax write-off you can, and then some. Because I could give you some that are legal that you wouldn't even think about. That I don't even know where I get these ideas from, but they're all legal. And I like to think of it as I'm just doing what Donald Trump's done with his taxes. I don't think he's paid taxes, maybe never, and that's possible. And it was all legal. It's all legal, and that's what all the big businesses do. But I'm taking a lot of times, those same kind of concepts on how we shift things, how we purchase things, how we bill our customers, and just moving the chains along, kicking the can down the road, and that's what we do. But it all starts with the bookkeeping. So here's where we are, folks. If you haven't filed your business return yet or your personal return, and you need to compile your tax documents, let me explain what you're up against here. And I'm going to share my screen. I hope that this works. I'm going to have to take this over here. And maybe that's going to work. And voila. This is the backbone, the spine of your accountant. Now, we call this the chart of accounts. It's like the holy grail of accounting. And I don't know if I'm in the right one here. Okay, I wasn't in the right one. So this is, what I learned from CPA school. It was the same. They didn't call it a chart of accounts. They had it in the form of a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement. When I got into actual accounting, what they called this was a trial balance. This was so a trial balance was all of the accounts, income, assets, liabilities, expenses, all lined up in the order of what type of account they were. And it was like that when I started in, what was that, 1983. And it's still the same freaking chart of accounts today. It's never changed. I mean, some of the numbers could change, the order could change, the name of but the concept of having an ordered system of accounts, sometimes with numbers, you don't always need numbers. And those numbers come from, in the old days, those were general ledger account numbers. So that's how we did things when it was done with pencil and paper. And when we did it with pencil and paper, everybody did it the way it was. There was only one way to do it, really. What happened was when desktop computers got involved, everything went discombobulated, and especially QuickBooks. It totally disintegrated, diluted the basic bookkeeping processes, which leaves us to the point where people are losing sleep now, and I feel bad about this. I really feel bad, and that's why I want to, try to teach as many people the simple stuff as possible, just so that they can, start enjoying their lives. And this is why I said, the key to having a happy, healthy life is knowing this stuff. The more people that know this, believe me, if you spread this on, if you shared this video with everyone you know, you'll be spreading, happiness. And so that, that's what I'm going to ask you to do when this is all over. Go to my YouTube channel, Bedrock Business Builders, and share the video. And hopefully it'll ripple. It'll go through so that millions and millions of business owners might have a better chance to succeed. So how does this work now? If I'm showing you this, let's get down to the nuts and bolts of this. How does this help you sleep at night, knowing that there's a chart of accounts out there? And how does this solve your problem? Well, the first thing you have to remember is that when you're doing business, you're usually either spending money or getting money. I mean, hopefully that's what's happening. When you're doing business, something is going to exchange, and it's usually money. And that money has to go through some type of account. Now, there used to be, in the olden days, there was something called cash. there were cash businesses. I mean, that we're going back a long, long time ago, before, the internet age. Now everything is done electronically, or we don't even use paper checks hardly anymore. And if it's a check, sometimes it's even electronic. So the cash thing, if there is cash, and I'm trying to think of maybe if even the street peddlers now take credit cards. It's unbelievable. But if you were transacting business with cash, the account is actually your pocket. So your accounting would be done in your pocket, and you would just have to list the money coming in and the money going out. And I've caught people stealing from petty cash funds that way, because they forgot that there was a record keeping system. So whether it's cash, or it's a bank account, or it's a PayPal account, or a Stripe account, any means of transacting business, including a credit card, because you can make purchases through the credit card. So now if you understand this, you know where the information is coming from that has to go on your account, on your tax return. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I want to simplify this. And by simplifying it, hopefully I'll take away some of that pain and anxiety. So in the perfect world, you have one account where you're doing all of your business, because then it becomes easy. It becomes easy. There's only one place you got to look at, and now you got to look at just all the money coming in and all the money going out. And then you got to take all of those numbers, all of those transactions, and put them into one of these other accounts. Now, this is a big one. I mean, this covers a lot of stuff, and especially with the balance sheet. So this is the balance sheet all the way up to here, up to line 28. Everything above here is the balance sheet. Now, most solopreneurs won't have all of these categories. You might not have sales tax, you might not have loans, and you're probably not going to have all of these different categories. So usually a solopreneur's categories can be a lot less, but let's just say these are all the categories. So you get your accounts together, and again, this is why it's important to be incorporated, because when you're incorporated, you actually have to get a corporate bank account. It's basically required. Now, I've seen people get corporate accounts and do business outside of the accounts, but that's not a good way to do it. But if you have a corporation or an LLC that's hopefully taxed as an s-corp, you're probably going to have one bank account. And that makes it simple. So now what you got to do is keep track, have a way to get all of those transactions in some kind of order. Now, the best system would keep track of all of the transactions that go through any account, and then you would reconcile it. Because when you do an account reconciliation, you are verifying that all of those numbers in your bookkeeping actually happened. There's a third-party document, the bank statement, to verify that you had a deposit for this amount, or you had an expense for this amount. Because just simply having an entry in your books doesn't mean that if you get audited, it's going to fly. But here's the other point that I started to make before, folks. And here it is. Just because you're forced to do this, the fact that you don't have a choice of putting your numbers together when you have a business is not the best reason for keeping a good set of books. The best and most important reason for keeping your books up to date and accurate is to run your business successfully. And that's why when you, and I keep saying this, you can look at the result of something, and if you want to look at somebody that's successful and you play it backwards, I guarantee you there's probably a 98% chance that, depending on how you measure success, but there is a 98% chance that those people and so let's define success as those people that have material wealth, have cash. Those people know how to read a financial statement. They don't have to be accountants, but they know what a balance sheet is and they know cash flow. And they learned it. You're not born knowing this stuff. Nobody's born knowing how to do accounting. So it is something that can be learned and has to be learned if you want to run a good, clean, profitable business. And that's why I said that, your chart of accounts is really the backbone of everything else. If you do not have and I'm going to make another bold statement here. If you don't have a good chart of accounts, it is impossible for you to have a good business. Okay, you might have what you think is a good business, a profitable business. You might be making money, but you are nowhere close to making and profiting as much as your potential is, if that makes sense. I've seen plenty of people making money, but they could have doubled or tripled or quadrupled what they were making if they had any sense of organization. And so now you're on with the fact that, okay, you got to gather up all the different accounts that you transacted business in, and now you got to categorize all of these. So the question becomes, what is the best system for doing that without going to, having to go to a CPA or hiring a bookkeeper? Because if you're at that level in your business, then you need to do that. If you're at that level, you don't need for me to tell you you're at that level. You're like way beyond. You probably have employees and you've been doing this for a while. Because the truth is that not many solopreneurs actually have a bookkeeper. And not many solopreneurs even have an accountant. What they might have is a tax preparer. And a tax preparer is somebody that you go to at the end of the year, your pile of stuff, and they prepare your taxes. And that's not how you want to run a business. You need an accounting and you need bookkeeping. Now, what's happened, thanks to computerization, is that the bookkeeper has almost been removed. The need for a bookkeeper has sadly almost been removed when it comes to solopreneurs. And the reason for that is by using technology, by using these tools that we have, it has become extremely simple. Not simple enough that somebody can just do it on their own. It's a level above that. So what I believe is that you do need an accountant, you need some kind of oversight, and you need a way to compile your information on a regular basis. So I did a Facebook Live the other day on upgrading from the spreadsheet method of bookkeeping up to Wave apps. And I invite you to go back. You can go to my YouTube channel and it's up there. But this is actually, I'm digressing here. Because, even Wave apps, as much as I love it, it still might not be for you. You may not need that because if you're just a solopreneur, and I don't mean just a solopreneur, but let's say you have a side gig. Okay, let's talk about, because there's millions of people that just have a side gig. Maybe you don't want to incorporate. Maybe you're paying all your expenses through a personal account and your credit card, and you're mixing in PayPal account stuff. Well, you might be better off with the spreadsheet. And all that is and you need some spreadsheet skills, obviously, but not that many. And all you would do is, let's say, take all of the accounts that you need and put them up here in a column. Auto, advertising, bank charges. Now, I do recommend that anybody that has even a side gig, that you should have a separate bank account. It just makes it easier if you do get audited, that you're not mixing your personal stuff with your business stuff, because then the IRS gets to look at your personal stuff too. Dues and subscriptions. And then all you would do is over here, you would say, your source. Let's say, Citibank, the date. I should have left a couple of columns here. What did I do? I don't know what the heck I just did. Oh, okay, there we are. Okay, source, date, amount, and then you're going to put it into the column. Now, this is for people that, let's say you got 5, 10 transactions a month, and it's easy to do this. It's easy. It's not a hassle to put the date in, 1523, and then add it up, and there you got your spreadsheet system. And it's pretty simple, and you should do it. And this is where the removal of the anxiety comes in, folks. And unfortunately, I have a couple of clients that are still doing the spreadsheet thing, and it's every year they say they're going to go on my Wave app system, which is really where people should wind up. And you could go back. I can show you a little. Actually, I don't want to, for the fact that it's probably going to get screwed up. But let me attempt this here. And remember what I said at the beginning, things, and yeah, that's the wrong account. But anyway, that's the story for tonight. Let me find my StreamYard again, if I can. And this is what happens when I said I'm getting so good at this, that now, oh, there we are. Okay. So I'm going to go back to this. And let me try something here, just out of curiosity. So, okay, no, it's not going to work. Okay, forget that. So that's my story. I'm sticking with it. If you want to book a chat with me, go to timewithjoe.com. I would love for you to join my mastermind group, Mastermind with Joe DiChiara. We have some, my assistant, Elizabeth, is awesome. She does like a recap of every meeting. We've been having some great, mind-bending discussions. Not about bookkeeping usually. There's only so much bookkeeping we can talk about. But they're great. They're really great. They're still free. I'm going to be starting some paid mastermind groups. And I have my master tribe builders. I'm going to be starting with Haley Gray, which is all about building your own Facebook group. And what I'd like to do now is invite you to do some Facebook Lives in my group here. I have my own group, Bedrock Business Builders. If you're not part of that, I'm broadcasting here in 5 different places. So if you're in my group, just PM me if you're interested in doing some a Facebook interview or just even if you want to have a regular slot in the group, because it's definitely it can help you and it might actually help other people. So that's my story. I'll be back again tomorrow with another episode of how you can win at business. All right, God bless. Good night. See you later.